Chapter 9. Habitat and Adaptation. Let's begin. Different types of living organisms are found in different regions of the world. You might have seen that animals like fish live in water only. You must have also seen that lotus and water lily grow only in water. At the same time, cactus plants grow mostly in deserts or hot regions. Camels like to live in deserts where desert conditions help them to survive. Similarly, wild animals like to live in forests because they can feed on plants and other animals there. Everything surrounding and affecting an organism is known as environment, and the study of the relationship between living things and their environment is known as ecology. Certain characteristic of living organisms which enables them to survive in their surrounding is known as an adaptation in living organism. Habitat. The surrounding where living organisms survive is known as habitat. The habitat of an animal or a plant provides for all its basic needs such as shelter, food, water and companionship. For example, the habitat of a lion is grassland and the habitat of a camel is desert. Types of habitats. Habitats are mainly of two types. Terrestrial habitats. The organisms that live on land such as tiger, humans, trees, etc. are said to live in terrestrial habitats. Aquatic habitats. The organisms that live and loved in water such as whales, octopus, sharks, etc. are said to live in aquatic habitats. Plants and animals have different features that help them to survive in their own habitat. A habitat comprises biotic and abiotic components. Biotic components. The biotic components of ecosystem include all the living things such as plants, animals and microorganisms. Though plants and animals are living things, we find many differences in their structure, appearance, ways of living and functions. Abiotic components. The abiotic components include all non-living things such as air, water, soil and climatic factors such as sunlight and temperature. As the surrounding air, water, sunlight, soil and temperature of a region changes, it also has an effect on the body structure and behavior of plants and animals present there, and they adapt themselves to their environment accordingly. Adaptation. We know that only those organisms survive that have characteristics which help them to cope up with a particular environment. Those which cannot adapt get eliminated. The ability of living organisms to acquire special features for adjusting themselves to the surrounding environment is called adaptation. These special features improve the chances of survival of an organism within a particular habitat. Broadly speaking, there are three ways in which organisms adapt themselves to their habitat. Changes in body structures. Many plants and animals either develop special body structures or changes in their body structures to help them survive in their habitat. Modification. Changes in behavior pattern. Many organisms show specialized behavior in order to survive in their habitat. For example, some animals go for long, deep sleep during extreme winters, hibernation. Changes in location. Some animals, example, some birds and fish, leave their habitat during harsh climatic conditions every year and move to other places. Migration. They again return back to their habitat once the conditions are more favorable. Let us first learn the terrestrial habitat and the associated adaptations. Some terrestrial habitats. Desert. Desert habitats get very little or no rainfall and are hot and dry. They are found in all parts of the world. The largest desert of our world is found in Africa and is known as the Sahara Desert. Thar Desert is present in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. Special climatic conditions. Dry, with very little rainfall. The days in the hot desert are very hot and the nights are cold. During daytime, the temperature can reach up to 4-5 degrees Celsius. An extremely low amount of annual rainfall, less than 25 centimeters. Adaptation in plants. Desert plants are hence called xerophytes, Xero means dry and phyte means plant. Common xerophytes are cactus, agave, asparagus, and yucca. Xerophytes show the following adaptations. Roots of most desert plants grow closer to the ground or have long roots and spread over a large area to absorb as much water as possible when it rains. In some plants, roots are long and penetrate deep into the soil to get water from the deeper layers of the soil. Leaves of most desert plants get modified into spines to reduce the loss of water through transpiration. In plants, which have bigger leaves, the stomata are sunken to reduce loss of water through them. Stems get modified as fleshy stems and store water, so they are also known as succulent plants and have chlorophyll for carrying out photosynthesis in order to make food for the plant. Leaves and stem of many desert plants have thick waxy coating to further reduce loss of water, for example, cactus, saguaro, etc. Adaptive features of cactus for survival in the deserts. The cactus plant shows following adaptations and survives in deserts. These are: leaves are modified into spines to reduce the loss of water through transpiration. Stems are fleshy and are modified to store water. They have chlorophyll for carrying out photosynthesis in order to make food for the plant. They have thick, waxy coating to prevent water loss. Adaptation in animals. Many desert animals and insects survive the heat by staying in burrows deep inside the sand. They live in the desert, sleep during the day because it is too hot. They come out at night to eat. They are called nocturnal. Most of the animals found in the deserts have a light-colored skin which reflects sunlight and keeps them cool. Some animals like lizards, tortoises and desert insects have thick scales or covering to survive high temperature of the desert. So they remain active during the day and sometimes take shelter under the rocks when the temperature is too high. The desert foxes and hares have long ears to get rid of the excess of body heat through their ears. Their large ears are densely lined with shallow blood vessels, allowing air to cool their blood as it circulates. Adaptation in camel. The camel is also known as the ship of the desert. It has several adaptations to survive in hot desert areas. Adaptive features of camel for survival in the deserts. They can survive for longer period of time without food and water. They store fat in their humps and use it during the period of scarcity of food. Their long legs keep them away from the hot sand. Their long eyelashes and ear hairs protect their eyes and ears respectively from the blowing desert sand. They can even close their large nostrils to prevent the sand from entering their nose. Their thick eyebrows shield their eyes from the desert sand. They have flat and wide padded feet that help them to walk on the sand without sinking. When thirsty, they can drink 120 liters of water in just 10 minutes and then stay without it for a long time. They lose very little water as urine. Mountain. Mountains are landforms that rise steeply above their surrounding areas, forming peaks. Mountain habitats are cold and windy. Their height is measured above the sea level and is generally higher than 600 meters. Snowfall also occurs in higher mountains. Special climatic conditions. Mountains are cold regions. While the lower regions of mountains are not so cold, as we move higher the temperature starts decreasing. As we move from the equator towards the poles, the temperature becomes extremely low. Adaptation in plants. The trees on the mountains are generally tall, pointed and triangular in shape to allow the snow to slide away. Their flowers are modified into cones. Therefore, they are known as coniferous trees. Their leaves are needle-shaped to prevent the loss of water. And they have thick wax coating which protects them from snow, for example, fir, pine and devdar. Adaptation in animals. Animals that live in mountains have thick fur or skin to protect them from cold. Animals like yak have thick growth of hair that keeps them warm. Mountain goats have strong hooves which help them to climb on rocky mountain slopes. Grasslands. A grassland is an area where most of the plants are grasses. Some trees may grow in grasslands also, but most of the ground is covered in grasses. Natural grasslands usually grow in areas where there is not enough rain to support forest growth or where wildfires and grazing animals keep trees from dominating the grasses. Some of the largest land animals on Earth live in grasslands, including American bison, elephants, giraffes, and so forth. Special climatic conditions: windy and dry. Moderate rains ranging between 50 centimeters and 90 centimeters. The temperature ranges between 20 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Grasslands are huge habitats mainly covered with grasses and not much trees and shrubs. So wind blows constantly in these dry and open areas. Adaptation in plants. The plants in grasslands have flexible stems so that they can bend easily and do not break in windy condition of grasslands. Their strong roots prevent them from getting uprooted by strong winds. In some plants like acacia, roots extend deep into the soil to absorb as much water as possible. They have small leaves to minimize the loss of water through transpiration. Some trees can store water in its huge trunk and survive during a period of low water availability. Adaptation in animals. A lion lives in a forest or a grassland, is a strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer. It is light brown in color. Have you ever noticed how their eyes are placed in the face for these two animals? Are they in the front or on the side of the face? Lions have long claws in their front legs that can be withdrawn inside the toes. A deer is another animal that lives in forests and grasslands. It has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. A deer needs to know about the presence of predators, animals like lion that make it their prey in order to run away from them and not become their prey. It has long ears to hear movements of predators. There are many other features of a lion, a deer or other animals and plants that help them to survive in their habitat. Adaptive features of carnivores for survival in the grasslands. Camouflage, light brown in color, which helps it to hide in dry grasslands when it hunts for prey. They have strong claws that can be withdrawn inside their toes. This helps them to move stealthily up to their prey without making a sound while hunting. The eyes are in front of their face, similar to humans, that gives them a correct idea about the location of their prey. Adaptive features of herbivores for survival in the grasslands. The another category of animals found in grasslands is herbivores like deer, zebra, giraffe. They eat plants, hence they have strong incisors, premolar and molar teeth to cut and chew the plant leaves. Eyes at the sides of their heads that enable them to look in all directions for danger. They have long ears to hear movements of predators. They have strong legs and can run very fast. Their speed helps them to run away from their predators. The aquatic habitat is the second major habitat. Aquatic habitat can be marine saltwater or fresh water. Let us know the marine habitat first. Oceans. Oceans are the largest water reservoir on the earth. They cover about 3/4 of the Earth's surface. Special climate condition. Ocean is a marine habitat. Oceans in different parts of the earth have different environments. Oceans on the poles have ice-cold water, and as we move from poles to the equator, the temperature of the ocean water rises. Adaptation in plants. The plants which grow in watery places or the places which remain very wet throughout the year are known as hydrophytes. Common hydrophytes are Hydrilla, Vallisneria, Pistia, Lotus and Utricularia. Adaptive features for plants' survival in the oceans. They have poorly developed root system. Root hairs and root cap are absent. Leaves are mostly thin and ribbon-like. Tissues usually have air spaces to keep the plants afloat. Cuticle and stomata are absent in such plants. Adaptation in animals. Variety of fishes like tuna, shark and mackerels are found in oceans. Adaptive features for fishes' survival in the oceans. Fishes are completely adapted to live in water. They have a streamlined body and fins which enable them to swim. The scales and waxy body of fishes protect them from harmful effects of salt water. They breathe by absorbing the dissolved oxygen of water with the help of their gills. Adaptive features for survival of mammals in the oceans. The other category of animals found in oceans is mammals like dolphins and whales. They have a streamlined body. They lack limbs but move with the help of fins just like fishes. They have a thick layer of fat called blubber to keep their body warm and afloat in water. Unlike fishes, they come up to the water surface to breathe. There are some sea animals like dolphins and whales that do not have gills. They breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes that are located on the upper parts of their heads. This allows them to breathe in air when they swim near the surface of water. They can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. Ponds and lakes. Have you seen plants growing in ponds, lakes, rivers and even some drains? Go on a field trip to a nearby pond, if possible, and try to draw the kinds of plants that are seen there. How are the leaves, stems and roots of these plants placed? Adaptation in plants. Mainly all aquatic plants have air spaces in their stems and leaves which help them to stay afloat or stand erect in water. The stems of these plants are long, hollow and light. The stems grow up to the surface of water while the leaves and flowers float on the surface of the water, for example water lily and lotus. Some plants like hydrilla and tape grass remain completely submerged in water as these plants need less sunlight. Some aquatic plants like duckweed need plenty of sunlight so they float freely on the surface of water. Leaves are covered with waxy coating to prevent their decay. Adaptation in animals. Fishes, frogs, turtles, crocodiles, otters and salamanders all live in or near the ponds, lakes and rivers. Some animals like frogs are adapted to live both on land and water. When they are on land, they breathe air from the atmosphere with the help of their lungs. And when they are in water, they absorb oxygen dissolved in water with the help of their moist skin. Such animals are called amphibians. Animals like frogs, turtles, otters, beavers and crocodiles have webbed feet for swimming. They live and swim in water but breathe in air with the help of their lungs. Birds like ducks have modified, webbed feet that help them to swim. They obtain their food mainly from water. The ducks are known as filter feeders because they have a beak that works like a filter. Their beak filters out the water when they collect small aquatic animals and water insects for feeding. Also, a large number of birds are found near the freshwater habitats. They nest in the trees and shrubs. They obtain their food mainly from water. Characteristics of living organisms. We normally recognize a living thing by its activities such as walking or running. But a car can run. Will you call a car a living thing? To answer it, let us study some of the features of living things. Living beings are made of cells and grow. All living beings are made of many very small units called cells. Cells are called the building blocks of life. Over time, many of these cells multiply in most living beings, which causes them to grow. Growth is defined as a permanent increase in the size of an organism, and it is irreversible. Living things usually do not remain the same in size. For example, a small puppy grows into a dog and a baby grows into an adult. The seeds or small seedlings germinate and develop into a plant. Many of them grow to become tall trees. The growth of living things takes place due to formation of new cells or division of cells and growth in the size of cells. The growth of living things is different from the growth of non-living things. Living beings reproduce. All living organisms produce more organisms of their own kind. Reproduction allows organisms to continue living on the earth. Animals reproduce in two ways: either they give birth to child directly like humans, cats, dogs, cows do, or they lay eggs like birds do. Animals that give birth to young ones are known as viviparous, and animals that lay eggs are known as oviparous. A hen hatches its egg and a chick comes out, which grows into a hen of the same kind. Plants produce seeds. The seeds germinate into seedlings and these seedlings grow into plants. Apart from seeds, plants like potato grow from a bud, a part of potato, and plants like rose reproduce through stem cuttings. Non-living things do not reproduce. Living beings need food. All living organisms need food. They need food to grow and to get energy to do work. Leaves of the plants make their own food. The process is called photosynthesis. Therefore, plants are also called autotrophs, as they make their food on their own by process of photosynthesis. Many wild animals get their food by killing other animals, whereas some animals eat only plants. Animals are heterotrophs as they depend on others for their food. Non-living things do not need any food. Living beings show movement. Movement is one of the most important signs of life. Animals move from one place to another and also show the movement of their body parts. The movement in plants is seen in the movement of their parts. Plants do not move from one place to another. Most plants are fixed to the soil with the help of their roots. So, roots always move downwards. This movement is known as geotropism. The stem of some plant tilts towards the sunlight. This movement is known as phototropism. Non-living things do not move on their own. They move with the help of an external force. Living beings excrete body waste. All living organisms take food and water. A part of the food is useful for the body. Parts of the unused food are pushed out as waste from the body. The process of removing wastes and other harmful substances from the body is known as excretion. Animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide as waste while breathing. Similarly, plants give out water vapor and carbon dioxide from small pores called stomata, singular stoma, present in their leaves. Plants also secrete waste. The secretions like rubber, gum and latex are the excretions of the plants. Animals also expel food waste after digestion. They also expel liquid wastes in the form of urine and sweat. Living beings respond to stimuli. Response to stimuli is an important characteristic of life. Anything that causes a living organism to react is called a stimulus, plural is stimuli, and a response is any reaction of a living thing to the stimulus. Stimuli can be external or internal. The ability of the organism to react is called irritability or responsiveness. In some plants such as mimosa, commonly known as touch-me-not, leaves curl or fold when touched. Thinking about one favorite food, sudden change of lighting, stepping on a thorn accidentally, etc., would bring response in human beings. Living organisms have some senses such as sight, smell, touch and taste that help them to detect changes in their external environment and respond to them. Living things display responsiveness, non-living things do not. Living beings respire to get energy. Living organisms respire. Animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. The process of breathing in is known as inhalation and the process of breathing out is known as exhalation. Oxygen taken in is used to oxidize the food to get energy. Energy released during this process is utilized by the body to perform various activities. Animals have different mechanisms for exchange of gases. While a fish has gills that facilitate the absorption of dissolved oxygen, an earthworm breathes through its skin. Take a deep breath and then breathe out. You have just taken in oxygen and given out carbon dioxide. Close your nose and mouth for a while. How do you feel? You feel suffocated. The air should continue to go into our lungs, otherwise we cannot live for a long time. Plants also breathe. They breathe through the stomata. Living beings have a definite lifespan. All living things are mortal. This means that the living things live and die after a certain period. The time period that an organism lives is called its lifespan. Different kinds of organisms have different lifespans. In plants, the lifespan is not very exact as in animals. The life of an animal follows a predetermined pattern. In an insect, the life starts from the egg stage. The egg hatches, giving rise to a larva. The larva develops into a pupa, and the pupa in due course becomes the adult. The adult dies after living for some time. This is called life cycle. In humans, the average lifespan ranges from 60 to 80 years. This does not mean that every human would live for 80 years or more. There are many environmental and nutritional factors that would interfere with the normal lifespan. Similarly, most of crop plants live for one season only. Many shrubs live for many years, while many trees live more than 100 years. Non-living things do not have definite lifespan. Organisms. Average lifespan. Bacteria. 20 minutes. Horse. 25 to 30 years. Housefly. 1 to 4 months. Ostrich. 40 to 45 years. Mouse. 2 to 3 years. Man. 60 to 80 years. Squirrel. 6 to 10 years. Elephant. 60 to 70 years. Dog. 10 to 13 years. Tortoise. 80 to 120 years. Lobster. 20 years. Cat. 2 to 16 years. Lion. 10 to 14 years. Bristlecone pine. Thousands of years.